From Inside Legacy Hall, Alex Margulies, head coach Jeff Choate here in the bye week for Nevada football. As you kind of get an opportunity to take that 50,000-foot view, I guess, of your program after now going into your second bye week, how would you kind of assess your team at this point in the season?
I think competitive and frustrated would be the two words that come to mind. Is that we're a player or two away, a call or two away from having an opportunity to be a really good football team, and that's the frustrating part. Is that I think these guys know that hey, our record maybe doesn't really reflect the quality of the team that we have, and that's hard to deal with at times, and emotionally that gets draining. And so the bye week has been good from that standpoint to kind of catch our breath a little bit and get away from the game, give them a few more extra days off to not just get their bodies back, but really get their minds right for this stretch. And we've got an opportunity to go to Logan and not have to play at 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night, which will be awesome. So we're excited about that. And I think it's a noon kickoff, if I'm remembering correctly. And a place that I actually worked for a few years back in the day, and so my daughter was born in Logan, so a little bit of a homecoming for me in that regard. And I'm excited to see these guys do their thing. I mean, you just see we've had two really tough defensive opponents in San Diego State and Boise recently, and there's a lot of growth, right, from a young quarterback. I mean, there's challenging looks, quality players, tight coverage. And when you make those mistakes, there's got to be a tail end to that, which is, what did you learn? And I think Carter learned a lot from both of those. One of the things that I've been really impressed with Carter about is his ability to kind of make that mistake and then self-correct. And I'm excited to see him go compete against a good Aggie team. And they're explosive on offense. They've kind of been able to win some tight games, which has not been our thing just yet. And it's always really good fan base there. Student section's always fun, and so I'm excited to get back to work.
As you look at the final four games, Utah State, you had UNLV at the end, the middle, Wyoming and San Jose State, which have had some ups and downs this season. As you look at this last four games, do you feel like, we do have an opportunity to go out and string together a couple of wins here down the stretch and finish the season, while it's been frustrating in terms of that wins and losses category? Hey, maybe we can put a few things together and knock off a couple wins before the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that's important. It's extremely important for our program, right? For creating momentum into recruiting, for building for the future, but most importantly for these young men. Like they keep working their tails off, man. That paycheck is got to come at some point in time, and so. Our job as coaches is to continue to put them in the best position we think that we can for them to be able to have that success, continue to play and call games to win them, and if there's a mistake that's made, so what, now what? Go to the next play, whether that's our defense has got to go out there and get a stop, which they've been phenomenal about, or, hey, we give up a score and our offense has to respond. And so that's, I want to see some growth on offense. I want to see us get the opportunity for those guys to taste victory and want to create momentum for our program. Those are the things that we're looking for down the stretch.
You look at your team, and at 1-7, there have been a lot of positives, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Coming off a game against Boise State that was averaging over 40 points a game, you guys held them to 24, and that was despite giving the ball away, a bunch of times, a couple interceptions, and a turnover on a punt. In terms of that side of the football, how proud are you the way that they have kind of dug in and been able to still play strong defense despite some of the positions they've been putting?
Well, I think, again, it speaks to their competitive character, and I also think it speaks to the job that the staff has done, on that side of the ball. I mean, every single unit, there's a subculture within every unit, and really the position coach is kind of responsible for that subculture. And when they do their job really well and they're pros, you see the growth in their units, right? So what are you looking for? From my perspective as a head coach, I'm looking for guys that get better and better and better. The development piece of it is really important, but also how do they play when their back's to the wall? What is their competitive character and how are they going to respond when things are difficult? And I think our guys are getting a PhD in that on defense right now. And so that's, the word proud does come to mind. I mean, I think they're a phenomenal group of kids, and our staff has done a really good job of keeping that thing straight.
I mean, overall, to me, for what I see watching your team play, this isn't a team that's just going through the motions and feeling sorry for themselves that they're in the situation that they are, having only won a single game this year. Do you feel like overall the effort, the energy, of your team has been there, and has that been maybe a source of pride that this isn't a team that's sort of just like giving in?
No, we're not
to the
cashing
situation.
it. Yeah, we're not playing out the string or cashing it in. These guys come out and they prepare and they go to work and they compete. I think that they still believe that the best is yet to come, and I think that one of the things I'll tell you when you're I'll use the term crisis leadership. I think one of the most important things that you have to be able to do as a leader when things aren't going well is be consistent. I think if you get out of character from a leadership standpoint, that kind of permeates into the rest of the organization, and people start going, well, what's going on? Why is this different? Why is that different? And I think that's something that we've done a really good job of internally, is being consistent, that not backing down on our standards, not changing how we're practicing, not sugarcoating things, being honest with ourselves and with the players about what we did well, what we didn't do well, what we need to improve upon, what our standards of behavior and performance are, and then just how you treat people. Like football's something you do, it's not who you are, and every individual has value, and we need to correct a bad technique or a poor play or a decision that wasn't correct, but you still got to love the kids, and that's our job.
As you go into a second bye week, what's different for you as a staff, besides obviously giving guys a little bit of a break physically? How do you treat a bye week this time of the season that's maybe different from the first one? And
it's kind of become interesting too, because now this the double bye is the norm, right?
Right.
And I think that'll go away once they move the start of the season back, so they have more time on the tail end for playoff expansion and stuff like that. But you mentioned getting our guys healthy, getting our veterans some time off, leaning into. We have a really talented group of freshmen, and really continuing to develop those guys and let those guys play some football. Not crazy in terms of going full or anything like that, but having 2 or 3 young gun periods in each practice, leaning into the fundamentals, keeping the saw sharp. But also, we've got some things that I think that we can still improve upon from a personnel standpoint. And how do we utilize Chuba? How do we get Jet Carpenter more involved in the offense? How do we get some touches for Jace Henry? How are we going to continue to enhance our run game? And some of that is stylistic, that relates to a specific game plan for Utah State coming up and San Jose and the other teams down the road. But some of it's just football, right? And you don't get better at football if you don't play football. And so we've got to do some of that while still being conscious that, hey, these guys got a lot of miles on the car right now at this stage of the season. So back off and give them some time to not just recharge physically, but emotionally as well.
Coach, thanks for taking the time.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.